2022, it's almost over, which means there's just one last thing to attend to, and I think we're just about the last people to do it. It's Whisky of the Year time.
Oh yeah.
Oh boy, we've got a show this time. We've got a real season going on. We have got a playoff. This has never happened before, and we've only done this one other year, so maybe that's not as hot as stuff as it might sound like, but it's happened nonetheless, and it's pretty exciting.
2022 has been a bit of a mixed year as years go, but on the whiskey front, it's been excellent. We've had some phenomenal local flavour, especially from Australia and New Zealand, some truly patriotic stuff happening there, but also some of the old favourites from around the world have been consistently strong too.
Absolutely. And the two whiskies you see here are the ones in the playoff, the finals, because they are in fact exactly the same score. Both of these whiskies got a 93 from Dave and a 94 from me, which is very, very, very high.
Yeah.
We probably mark, as in terms of people who give whiskey scores, you can tell we're not the ones who get paid to do it, because we mark pretty hard, pretty jolly hard here at the Single Malt Review, and so to get anything in the 90s is an achievement of its own. To get close to the mid-90s, there's entire years might go by when we would never score anything that high. So we're talking about good goddamn whiskey. So
what do you have there, Tim?
What I've got here, contestant number one, and we announced this one as a Whisky of the Year contender when we reviewed it initially. This is the absolutely fabulous and fabulously presented as well, Longmorn 16. Sadly, no longer for this world because I drank it all. But the spirit lives on, and so does the video evidence of our review there, which I will link in the show notes. But that's whiskey number one, and whiskey number two is something a bit more contemporary. What have you got there?
Also out of Scotland, from all the way down Campbellton. This is Kilkerran's Port Cask Matured 8-year-old. So it's a cask strength 100% Port Kilkerran. It is a showcase of just bombastic cask character. It's very off the beaten track as far as Kilkerran goes, but it stands out in just bringing that rich port to the fore. It's a young whiskey, but not immature.
It's also the subject of quite the controversy.
Oh, yeah.
So sit down, resume your seats, everyone who is starting to disgorge onto the street and riot after the Mozart concert. Be patient. We'll get to that. We will get to that. First, we're going to just flame the controversy a little bit longer, because in the case of a runoff, what to do? We thought, can we do a taste-off? No, because I drank it all. So we didn't do that. We thought, well, the logical thing, if we've got a runoff, is to go by price. And as fabulously affordable as the 16-year-old Longmorn was, the Kilkerran was just that little bit cheaper.
Yeah.
So that means, boop, the Kilkerran takes it. Again. Do not adjust your set. And please, we should say in the most official terms, we have nothing to do with Kilkerran, and we do not get paid by Kilkerran. Because this is conspicuously the same distillery which got our Whisky of the Year last year for a sherry cask, single cask. It just keeps happening.
Yeah.
And some of you will say, well, but this whiskey is crap. We've heard all sorts of smoke about this particular port cask matured whiskey, and that's what we'll get into, because I agree, there's something weird going on with this particular dram, because a lot of you have said, and a lot of the talk online about this one, is that people are tasting and nosing such things as like dirty dishcloth, and they're tasting like tired, faltered whiskey, and we're not.
Yeah.
So I think either this is not a single cask. This can't have been made from many casks, but it is a batched release. And either this was not blended, it just went into the bottles willy-nilly, and so there's cask variation going on, or something strange happened in the blending, it wasn't properly mixed. I don't know, because we are not getting any of those faults in our dram here. This is one of the, and you just have to believe us, like I say, we are in no way employed by Kilkerran or Springbank or like anybody for that matter. So this is an opinion agnostic of really any other factors. This is just this is how we see them. We call them like we see them here, and this is a profoundly good whiskey.
Yeah. The most common complaint I've seen is that it's just not Kilkerran. That the cask character is so overblown, it's blown it out completely. You can't taste the distillery character. It is just all port wood all the way. And that's certainly
And there may be
a
some
valid
validity to
perspective.
that, but at that point, that's a qualitative concern you have there. And if you were going into a full-on, flat-out port cask maturation and not expecting an absolute earful of port, or mouthful as the case may be, you messed up at that point. The whiskey did not mess up.
There is certainly a hint of a sulphurous, rubbery tang on there, but much less than you get in, say, Edredor Ibisco being my go-to for slightly sulphury.
No, I think
vulcanized
drams. Stylistic knocks against this particular whiskey. People looking for more of a pure Kilkerran experience. I can understand, but I still think are not particularly valid for what this one is. Looking at it as an individual dram doing an individual thing. What really sort of got me concerned, and what has still got me puzzled, is that people are, and they're not making it up, I'm quite certain, people have genuinely found faults in this whiskey.
Yeah.
You do not get dirty dishcloth out of a whiskey as a, that's not, I'm not into the dirty dishcloth style. I disagree with this stylistically. If you're getting dirty dishcloth, something's gone bad somewhere. And it's not gone bad in this particular whiskey. So, I mean, we're not out here being the Kilkerran Defence League. This is just our individual perspective here. Something is weird with this.
There is a slightly grubby character. I see where people are coming from with the dirty dishcloth note, but for me, it's working the same way as, say, greasy Hessian comes through on a particularly grubby Isla whiskey in a good way.
I don't know. It's interesting, but it is indefatigably, be it on a slightly technical price technicality, our Whisky of the Year.
Because it was absolutely priced to move. It was a bargain of a whiskey, but an absolute cracking dram as well. Like you can tell by how quickly it was all snapped up and then quickly returned onto the resale market at grossly inflated prices.
And yeah, like if you disagree, please let us know. I'd love to have a raging debate about this one in the comments. And of course, we don't taste every whiskey under the sun, like the big boys do. So there's all of our Whisky of the Year is always going to be it's a channel favourite. It's not an empirical study of every single dram that came out.
The nature of whiskey is such that trying all of the year's new releases is absurd. The vast majority of what we try probably is from years past.
That sounds delicious.
Yeah,
my body is very ready. But hey,
the number of actual 2022 releases that came our way was probably comparatively limited.
But at any rate, there you have it. If Kilkerran somehow wins 2023, then you can start getting suspicious. Then the conspiracy is at that point real, and I've been lying all along and we're employed by them. But until such time, you just have to take that with whatever grain of salt you need to, and we will just continue to, I will just continue to enjoy Dave's whiskey. I'll just have to find another reason for it to appear back on the channel. I've got two good glasses out of him on this one, his poor birthday whiskey. It's just too damn delicious. We'll just have to address the controversy and taste it a third time in the new year. And
there should be good things ahead in 2023. Some New Zealand distilleries are putting out some exciting new products, which I'm hoping to try soon. I have something of a milestone birthday coming up this year, which I'll have to commiserate with a suitably fine.
That sounds
dram.
expensive. So I'll look forward to that one too. But no, it'll do good stuff all year round. No, we're looking for a pretty action-packed new year. This camera, though you can't really see because you're seeing it from the wrong end, this camera was built to move. And so we're going to be doing some on-location stuff. We're going to be getting amongst the distilling, because there's just so much of it going on in New Zealand at the moment, more and more and more and more. So we're going to be checking in with a few folks and seeing what's good. But otherwise, just expect more of us, more of us, more of what's good or what's not, and the scores to match. I might even make new scorecards.
Oh wow!
I might make ones that are good and have a transparency around the edge and
new
just
assets
clearly made in paint. Using them for like 4 years. Maybe I might lavish that on the channel. But hey, all things are possible in the new year. Yeah. So we hope to see everybody back at such time. And thank you to everybody who's been here all along or has just joined us. Your support is essential. Otherwise, we'd just be talking into a black hole, which sometimes it feels like we are whenever we review a, say, niche Irish whiskey. But hey, at least everybody had the chance to check that one out.
So please, if you have been, keep following us here on YouTube. We've also got a presence on Facebook and Instagram.
We do. And I get to say this, some people say it every 30 seconds on YouTube. I'll say it once a year. Like and subscribe. It helps. It helps with the visibility of the channel. Everyone always comes here moaning sometimes, oh, why don't you guys get more views? You guys are real great. Obviously. Well, you know, if you liked and subscribed, we might do a bit more traction. So please, bump us up. Recommend us to your loved ones, relatives, electoral bodies. Doesn't matter.
Nemesis,
it doesn't matter. Yeah, just get them on board. Anyway, cheers, Slanger, from the Single Malt Review. We're not going anywhere. We will be right back with some excellent New Year's content. And maybe a few extra ones just come in real hot while there's still a little skerrick of December left. I don't know. We will find out. We will find out. Oh well, Slanger Game, thank you so much. Happy New Year's.